So the idea that they might reform the filibuster was greeted with a little bit of horror by Ainsley Earhardt, who had this to say about it.
They end the filibuster. The Democrats will rule our country forever. We will become a socialist country. So first they'll kill the filibuster, then they'll pass this HR 1 so felons can vote, no ID if you go to vote, register everybody, expand the mail-in ballots. Then guess what? They're going to start packing the court. The country's gone. It's a free-for-all if this happens. Thankfully, Joe Manchin and Kristen Sinema are pushing back on this. They have said that they will not support this, but if they change their minds, it's over.
Yeah, and I don't take that as a foregone conclusion that they will change their minds. But JR, what do you think about, is it over? Is it the end? If they make people actually filibuster to filibuster?
Well, first off, they're not. I think they're going to want to gloss over that one change, being you have to actually filibuster, because you're going to look even more ridiculous than normal in saying, well, I think they should be able to just raise their hand and say no. So they're going to gloss over that and say that the filibuster reform that people like President Biden and Joe Manchin are pitching, to have them actually speak, they're mischaracterizing that to them saying they're trying to eliminate the filibuster. So anything that comes to reforming the filibuster to being a filibuster again, is saying they want to eliminate it, which they're nowhere near on board for. But they have to mischaracterize that for their audience to have some kind of anger, because their audience will go, wait, so you're advocating for them to have to actually do the filibuster when they say they're filibustering? It's hard to get on board with such a ridiculous request. So you have to magnify lie and say what they're shooting for is to eliminate the filibuster, because so many other Democrats and progressives want to do so.
Yeah. You know what we should do? We should make a microfilm, a reboot of Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, where a senator stands up with the filibuster. It will be 7 seconds long. He's like, no, I don't want to do that. Roll credits. We should do a remake. I think it would be awesome. Anyway, the world isn't going to be over. I love how much doesn't need to be explained on Fox News because they dwell in the Fox cinematic universe. She says they're going to let felons vote. They don't even have to explain. Wait, so why shouldn't they be able to vote? Like philosophically, exactly. Like what's the reason that they? Oh, you're not going to explain it? You know that I know that I don't want them to. So okay, that's good. Mail-in ballots being expanded. It's over. It's done. Wait, why? Like we've had them. Remember, like we went over the facts like a billion times. Republican states have had mail-in ballots for like years and years and years and years, and it doesn't mean that elections don't count. Anyway, I think. Look, here's the thing. In theory, she could be right. If the Dems got rid of the filibuster, and the magic element would be, and we're willing to pass legislation that progressives support, that would be so popular that they'd probably win every election until the Republicans eventually adapt. That part isn't necessarily going to happen. And the getting rid of the filibuster almost certainly isn't going to happen. But if those things did happen, then sure, maybe they would rule for all time. We're still a pretty long way off.
Yeah, they want to say that Democrats would rule for all time because they'd rig the system to make sure that the majority of the country that supports them votes for them. It's such a weird concept. But actually, if the policies, like you said, if the policies progressive, actual policies are put in place that helped Americans, once they're in place, it's hard to get rid of them. They can fight against, again, I was bringing up, what was healthcare even before the ACA was beaten and badgered and barely dragged across the finish line? It was nothing.
It was basically nothing.
Their Republicans' arguments against any kind of healthcare was that, hey, you got emergency rooms, bro. That was they said, who doesn't have access to doctors? Go to the emergency room. That was their argument for keeping the healthcare system the way that it was nationwide. So now that that's changed to this degree, and people have this sense of, hey, maybe I can actually have some level of health insurance that isn't just nothing, even though it's still not enough. Now it's hard to take that back. They've been fighting so hard to take it back, and they haven't been able to take that back because it's actually in place and it's actually helped people. Now they can't do it anymore because they look like the really bad guys. Exactly. So put things in place, but in order to put in place, you have to go ahead and get through your legislative process, and that's what the filibuster is holding up.
Exactly.
For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.